Hi, I'm Adrian Salisbury from the Pro Video Academy, and today we're going to be checking out this new light that came through from Raylino. And it's an unusual one for me. It fits in between different sizes that I've got. So firstly, I'm keen to see how good quality it is. And then secondly, to think about quite how this fits into my current equipment setup. So let's jump in and have a look at it. So as you can see, it comes through in a nice, simple little box. Nothing major to tell you about that. Now, we're quite often approached by manufacturers asking whether we would review their equipment. That's partly because we hit 100,000, and I'm only interested if it's genuinely on point and it looks like a decent bit of kit. So I was interested by this Raylino light. Forgive me if I'm pronouncing it wrong, but I wasn't quite sure where this would fit in my lighting setup. Typically, I've been using these Viltrox lights that are this kind of size. I've got one attached to the ceiling. I would normally have one further set back over there. So quite a bit of a difference in size. And then the other end of it, I also reviewed and love this little Vigim light that is a great little portable light. So again, you can see this really fits in between, and I wasn't quite sure quite how I'm going to use this. But before we get to that part, I just want to talk about the build of it and really walk around this light and see whether we think it's any good. Now, the first thing to say is that unlike these bigger LEDs, it's battery powered. I don't need to attach batteries to it. I don't need to have a cord on it. I can plug it in with a standard USB or a USB-C port, two options, and charge the thing up. I believe they say it's about 2 hours it takes to fully charge it, and then you can get about an hour and a half's power out of it. Now, I also think it's worth grabbing a battery pack that you could have working this permanently, or I'm sure you can actually plug it straight into the mains and run it like that if you wanted that consistent light. So I come around the back of this, I turn it on. It's very simple. It's got a lovely display on the back of it, 2 dials and an on-off button. I like that. I'm all about keeping things simple. And one just tells me very clearly the brightness. The second one is the color temperature. This is a bi-color light, so it will go from 3200 to 5600, giving me an option of a really warm light or a very cool light. Now, I'm a huge fan of these lights because if you're matching this in with existing light in a room, it allows you to very accurately get the same light going on rather than just that inconsistency of a bluey light coming in on one side and an orangey light coming in from the other. So I always recommend to my customers that they go with these bi-color lights anyway. Plus, the fact that it's on a nice display on the back means that once I set this up, it's very easy to come back to, make a note of it, and consistently have that same lighting and power intensity coming through. Now, I'm going to be reviewing a GVM light next, a RGB light that does a great job with the different colors, but one of the things that bugs me about it is it takes about 5 laps of turning this dial to go from 0 to 100% power. This one, super good. I literally just go 3/4 of a turn on here, just over, and I've gone from 0 to 100%. The same with the color temperature, the same kind of range on there. To get from 3200 to 56 is again a nice, easy little turn of the dial. May sound silly, but trust me, when you've been frustrated with these other ones that take ages to go around, it makes a big difference. The same is true, unfortunately, of this Vigim light that I've got. You have to press it and hold it to go from 0 and slowly go up to 100% power. Again, that's why this one to me stands out, and I'm going, yes, really like that feature. Now, I have to say as well that the build of it is really super. No problems with that. Feels really strong and sturdy. I don't feel like it's moving around. Now, the thing that really blows me away with this light is the panel on the front. It's just one solid bank of color. Now, what do I mean? Well, all the other lights that I get are a series of LED dots like this. In fact, you can see it better on this one. If I turn it on, you won't see it. But all of these are little LED lights in here, and basically half of them are the orange color, half of them are that really white color. And the way they adjust that temperature between 3200 and 5600 is which lights are turned on. So at 3200, it's just the orange lights that are on. At 5600, it's all the white ones. And if I go halfway, then both of them just come down half power. And you can see the thing mixing. It'll be too bright on here, but you can see as I turn this dial how the lights change and you're just jumping from one to the other. Even when I've got my diffuser over the front of it, I can still see the lights underneath it, those little dots. And the same goes on this little thing here. And so when I come to this one, it is just one solid block of color that changes from this warm orange to this really cool white. And they do actually mention this on Amazon, that it would be good for, it's an easy light to have in front of you. If you were doing babies or children, this would be great. And I absolutely agree that it would be. And I also like that you can actually feel this moving up in this percentage as it goes. Let me turn it off, that strong warm color. I go from 0 to 1%. And I do actually wish that there is a little bit lower powered at that 1%. That is still quite bright at 1% on there. But I can feel that going up, and it feels very natural. It feels smooth. Again, some of these lights are guilty of feeling like you're jumping in stages. You can kind of go from 10% to 50 and don't really feel like anything's changed. Not so on this one. So I have to say, all in all, this is a fantastic bit of kit. And honestly, I don't say this about equipment. There's plenty of stuff that comes through for me for reviewing that I look at it and go, yeah, and in fact, I've been back in touch with manufacturers and said, sorry, but I'm not going to give this a 5-star. This one isn't true. This genuinely I would recommend to any friend of mine that was wanting an additional smaller light. Really happy with this, and definitely this will be part of my equipment. That's the kind of build. Hopefully I've convinced you that this is a great solid build. It's an awesome bit of kit that you could add. I've already put on this little bracket at the bottom here, but there's just a normal 1/4" screw thread at the bottom of that could go straight onto a tripod or any other light stand. And there's also the same at the bottom of this. So I would keep this on here because it gives you a chance to use this little thread to move over. I'm happy with the build of it. So where does this fit in though to my current setup? Would I use this in this daily filming setup? So I have a softbox at the minute that's in front of me. I just like this soft light. It's something that I've moved to just recently rather than having LED panels up. But I do still have an LED panel behind me that I can flick on, and that's lighting up my background. So this tends to be my simple setup. I also have an LED panel further back there that is just offering it a bit of fill light, not making a lot of difference in here. Again, just a little bit of extra light. And as you can see, these are my Viltrox ones that work off one remote, got them on different groups so I can work them all independently. This Godox in front of me works off a different remote, but again, with a couple of remotes, I'm all set and I'm working here. Now, this doesn't work from a remote. This isn't going to fit into an existing system that I've got. So what can we do with it? Well, I think there's a couple of options. So some of my customers in the Pro Video Academy will tell me that they're struggling to get lights in front of them. They don't have space like I've got out here. So we are actually mounting cameras on the desk, lights on the desk, and that I think is where this will really come in. This LED panel, even when I put it on its lowest setting, it's pretty intense to have right in front of me there, but I think one of these would work really well. And actually what I'm thinking is on something like this podcast mic stand would be strong enough, because it's only a small light, that actually we could mount it on here. And shall we have a look? So this is just on 13%. And I could put that in place, I could angle that a bit, and shall we see what it's doing? Let's turn off the softbox. So I know those two dials are there, that's the power one, let's turn that up. So even at 65% there in front of me, you can see that's creating a lot of light on me. I don't have a second one, but if I were to use this little Vidgim light and kind of imagine this is another one at the other side, you can see this again, 39% power. Look how much light comes out of these two very small little units. It's not so great when you wear glasses because you've got small lights, so they are going to create shadows. But if I weren't a glasses wearer, you can see that that is more than enough to have a couple of these small little lights. You could position them slightly depending on where you wanted them. I reckon that could be a fantastic little solution. So that's one way we could use them. Now this is designed as well that it would sit up on top of the camera and just give me one single light source overhead, and it can create a very dramatic look. Or if I were in a room that had existing lighting and it was already well lit around here and I just want some fill lighting on my face, this would work really well mounted on top of the camera itself or just with a small magic arm. Have a look at the Vidgim review that I did and you'll see that in action, just quite how you can set that up on top of there and have it all mounted on the camera. Other ways that you could use this, I could be having it set above me there, pointing back down on that wall. So if I turn off that background light, you can see that this little thing on a higher power absolutely could be lighting that background up for me. Or maybe I want to turn it around and bring it in and it could be a fantastic hair light to just shine back on me. By using a clamp attached to this, I can actually attach it to pretty much anywhere and either use it to shine in on me or use it to shine in on the background, and maybe there's a dark spot that I want to just be able to pick up and add some light to. I just think it's a super versatile little light, very lightweight, portable. Yeah, I just think more and more, yes, this would absolutely be used by me in the studio here. But then let's move on to where I think this will absolutely earn its money, and that's travel. So at the minute, for me to go away, if I want to take a light with me, these are actually pretty heavy for the size of them with some batteries. To put this in a case and have this on a tripod. This one has been my go-to travel one, to be able to just stick it up on top of my camera. If I'm in a hotel room, for instance, or I'm in a location and the room is lit, but I just want a bit of fill light on me, then this has been what I've been suggesting to people. But actually now I'm thinking this is really no heavier. Yes, the surface is slightly bigger, but it would fit equally as well into a case or a carry bag. I think this has become my new favorite travel light. So what do you think? I reckon for $45, this is a great little bit of kit that you can add to your current equipment, and certainly for your travel and just having some freedom to move around, I reckon you'll thank me for getting hold of one of these. And what I'm always pleased to see is over on Amazon there are currently 139 4.7 star reviews on it. So I'm not the only one who thinks it's a good bit of kit. So thank you, Ray Lino, for sending it through to me. Definitely this is a hit. Very happy with this. I would buy one absolutely, and it is about to go onto my equipment list to recommend to other people as well. I'd love to know your thoughts about this. Any questions, pop them in the comments, and be sure to subscribe because we've got more reviews coming. In fact, the next video we're going to do is going to be on those RGB lights from GVM. Let's see what I think to those. All right, I'll see you in another video. Thank you.